Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is the 3rd or 4th of October, I'm not sure, it's Saturday. And if you watched my September vlog, you will know that I have just basically pressed stop on that and then start on this one. So I am doing a quick update because I'm in my filming setup. I'm not having a great time health-wise. I've got a problem with my leg where I can't weight bear on it at the moment, so that's really painful and it's actually making it quite hard to sit and film because I have to keep shifting, and moving my leg around is painful. But I just wanted to come in and say hello. I've also got a couple of parcels to open. I haven't finished any books yet. I'm doing my usual where when I'm not feeling great, I start loads of books. So I've got 3 books on the go at the moment, all of which are quite chunky ones and are going to take me a while, but I am working through them. So I will hopefully come and talk to you shortly for you about those books. What's happening this weekend? So we don't have Charlie with us. This weekend he's with his mum. Today is Saturday, we've got no plans. The weather is terrible, which is great because I don't feel bad about staying inside and staying off my leg. But tomorrow we are going for Sunday lunch with a really good friend of ours, which will be lovely. And then Monday I have my first appointment with the neurosurgeons. So I'm quite anxious about that, a bit stressed out about it, can't lie, because I just don't really know what they're going to say, but it is a start, so we've got to start somewhere, but that's on Monday. What's happening this month? I've got 2 weeks left of term, and then 2 weeks left of term? 3 weeks left of term, not 2. And then it's October half term, which will be lovely. I've got some nice plans for that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So in terms of intro, that's pretty much it. I do have 2 parcels and I'm very excited to open both of them. I know what's in one because it's stuff I bought, and I think I know who the other's from, but I don't know what's in it. So this first one I'm going to have to hold this way because I can't show you the front because it's got my address on it. But this is from Shannon at 155 Books, who recently opened her own Etsy store, and she's selling candles and bookmarks and wax melts, and we know how much I love a wax melt, so I obviously immediately went on and ordered stuff, and it's all Shakespeare themed. I will obviously link her underneath. Let's try and open this in a way that doesn't dox me on the internet. This arrived really fast. It's been sat for a couple of days whilst I found the energy to film, so I'm very excited for this. Oh my gosh, it's all like, look at that, that's so cute. It's all wrapped. Okay, so let's have a little look in here. So these are obviously, oh look, I love it when my friends open businesses. It's always so exciting. So Shannon's 155 Books. Like I said, everything is Shakespeare themed. Also, I've just opened the bag and it smells so good. It's all like herbal scents, which I love. So I'm very excited to burn some of these. I'm trying not to damage the sticker. It's so beautifully wrapped. Much better job than I do. Right, let's get into these bookmarks. So I'm excited to use these. So I obviously bought all 3 that she had available. She put an extra. Oh, that's to protect it. Okay, so honestly, everything smells so good. These violent lights have violent ends, which is from Romeo and Juliet, which is a text that I teach. The lady doth protest too much, methinks, which is from Hamlet. I don't teach that one, but I wish I did. Oh, did she put an extra one in, or did I order all 4? I can't remember. I am that merry wanderer of the night, which is Midsummer Night's Dream, which I do teach. And to be or not to be, that is the question, which is very famous Hamlet quote again. Yeah, love it. I love these designs. I love the colour palette. They're all just very pleasing. So these will go in my, you can see that tin there. That's got my currently using bookmarks. It's not even all of them. I've got a ridiculous amount of bookmarks. And then these cute little parcels. I love it, Shannon. This looks so great. Maybe I should have taken a picture of this before I opened it. Whoops. Anyway, I'm sure people much better than me will do that for Instagram. So like I said, she's got 3 scents currently. She's doing them in candles, but I bought the wax melts because I just prefer a wax melt. I think they last better. Oh man, they smell so good. So this is These Violence Delights, which smells like roses. It smells like Turkish Delight. Oh, really lovely. That's what it looks like. And you've got like bits of flour, I guess, in them. I know what I'm doing. So there's that one. Then this next one, I just love this packaging so much. It's so pleasing. she's done such a great job. Oop, that'll work. And then Merry Wander of the Night, which is Midsummer Night's Dream. One of them's got rosemary in, and I was like, give me that immediately. I love rosemary as a scent. Oh yeah, that's really fresh and floral again. They're so pretty. And then finally, last but not least, like I said, I will link her underneath. This is absolutely not sponsored. I pay for these, as I always do with my friends when I open businesses, when I support them. But I will link her underneath so that you can go and have a look and maybe have a buy. And this is The Lady Doth Protest. I think she also said she's going to be doing gift sets for Christmas, which is definitely something I will be looking out for, because I'm an English teacher, so lots of my friends are English teachers, and this would be a great gift for them. Oh yeah, that one's like a little bit sweeter. Very, very nice. Okay, I'm very happy with those, and we'll be using them immediately. And then, sorry for the rustling. Then I've got this parcel, which has arrived. Oh, didn't realise that had her address on it, so I've covered that. This is from the lovely Marianne at Couple Books, who tried to send this to me for my birthday. Something's gone wonky with my PO box. So it got sent back to her a few times, and I need to figure it out. So for now, I removed my PO box information so that you guys, I mean, not that I'm expecting stuff, but just so that nobody tries to use it. I know Marianne and have done for years, so I gave her my address, and this has appeared. So I have no idea what this is. It's very squishy. It's really soft. So I have no idea what this is. But this was really kind of her. She absolutely did not have to, but she was very insistent. So I'm gonna get into it so that I can show you without doxing either of us. Okay. Oh, it's so cute. She's so lovely. This is what she sent. I love this washi tape. Okay. Gosh, there's like layer after layer. It's like past the parcel. How cute is that? I love that sticker. Oh, and she said third time's the charm. It's finally got back to me, so hopefully second time posting it is the charm. And then she said third time the charm. You can either view this as a very late birthday present for the year or a very early one for next year. Your choice, Marianne. Thank you for bothering to do this. I really appreciate you, Marianne, and yeah. Okay, so this says Rendale Designs by Hannah Dale. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that on the back. You've probably already seen that. Okay, what is this? It's all beautifully tied with a ribbon. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Okay, let's do the card first. We are a card first household. Oh, so I've been sat for a little while filming, and my back is now getting stiff. Oh, beautiful! Look how beautiful that is. That'll look so nice on my bookshelf for a bit. To Victoria, hope you don't mind me sending a little something. I really appreciate your friendship, and you deserve all the fab things on your birthday, Marianne. Thank you, Marianne. I very much appreciate you. So it goes both ways. Okay, so in here, oh, excellent shout. Bar of dairy milk. Blooming love a bar of dairy milk. And I haven't been in the best mood, so I will sit and enjoy that for sure. Oh, there's socks. I love socks. There's duck socks. Women's super soft bamboo socks. They are really soft. That's lovely. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Marianne, what did you do? And then we've got another little gift bag thing. And this has got Bladnock Botanics Rose and Geranium Hand Lotion. Oh my gosh, yes please. Looks like this. Oh, it smells actually just like this. These two smell very much the same. So that's exciting. There is this. Oh, it's a fridge magnet. I was like, is it like a mini coaster? It's a fridge magnet. Love it. Let's get it out of the packaging so that you can see. It's just this little frog. That's so cute. And then, oh, that's a little bit of tissue paper to keep it all safe. Well, thank you very much, Marianne. You have, as always, spoiled me. So we've got hand lotion, a lovely bar of dairy milk, which will not last the weekend, an excellent pair of bamboo socks, and this really cute little fridge magnet. which will make me smile. So thank you very much. That was really kind of you. So I've been talking for 10 minutes and not talked about a single book because, like I said, I haven't finished anything yet. Tomorrow we're off to lunch with a friend, which should be nice. Get me out of the house, test my leg out, and then we will see what next week brings. It's the 16th of October and a lot has happened in the, 12 days since I last spoke to you. I'm going to put a content warning on this clip because I'm going to talk about medical stuff. I'm also going to talk about an operation and I'm going to talk about mental health stuff. So if that's not your bag or it might trigger you or you're just here for the books, that's absolutely fine. I would skip forward until I'm holding Starling House in my hands because that will tell you that I've stopped talking about all that stuff. But yeah, I just want to put a content warning before I get into this update. So that's your warning, so skip forward if you need to. So when I last spoke to you, it was Saturday and we were having a pretty chill day at home. My leg was really bad. I couldn't put any weight on it at all. And then we went for lunch with our friend on the Sunday, which was really good. And it was really good to get out of the house. I really didn't want to go in the morning. I very much just wanted to send Gary by himself and just kind of stay at home. But I'm glad I went because it was good to get out. It was a mammoth effort to get me out. Because my mobility has been really bad, but I was really glad to see a friend. It was good to see her. We had a beautiful lunch and she lent me, what's over there now? She lent me a walking stick, which has made life 100 times easier. So we had lunch with her and then on Monday I went to work in the morning and then in the afternoon we had our appointment at the neurosurgery team in Bristol. Gary came with me. The hospital was beautiful. It's humongous. They have gates rather than wards like an airport. Very, very modern. It can't be any more than like 4 or 5 years old. And yeah, we went for our appointment. I had to use a wheelchair to get around because I nearly said airport, the hospital was so huge I just could not walk that far, so Gary had to push me in a chair, which was a bit of a weird feeling. And we met with a really lovely neurosurgeon and she was brilliant. She explained everything really well. She confirmed my diagnosis of Chiari malformation type 1, which I've talked about before, and there are, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, there are a couple of posts on my community tab that explain and show diagrams and stuff of what I'm talking about. But she confirmed that diagnosis. She showed me the scans, which was really interesting. Never seen the inside of my head before, obviously. And it was really clear even to me that the brainstem is really is being pushed on basically by my brain and it's being restricted. So she explained how that's causing all of my symptoms and the pain that I'm having and all that sort of stuff. And she confirmed that I am eligible for treatment. Treatment, obviously, because I was in front of a neurosurgeon, is surgical. There are a couple of different options, but the option that I think I'm going to take is called bone only. This is where I'm going to talk a bit about what will happen in the operation. So if you don't want to hear any of that, again, skip forward. So I'm holding Starling House in my hands. I have been conflicted about talking about it, but I've talked about everything else up to this point and been really open, and I don't see any reason to not be going forwards. I think as long as I put content warnings on clips so that people can kind of opt in or out. So I am going to talk about this stuff. when we get into the operation and things, which hopefully is going to be in January, I will vlog some of that. Obviously nothing like graphic or gory. I will film what I want to film, but I'm not going to hide it away, because I find it helpful to talk about it. And from the messages and comments and emails that I've had from some of you find it helpful as well. And if I can just help one person, it's worth talking about it. So the operation that I'm going to have is called the bone only option, which is hilarious because they will only be removing part of the back of my skull. So I will have an undercut for a bit because they'll have to shave underneath the back of my head. And they will remove a section of the back of my skull and also the back of the first vertebrae in my neck. This is to make more space, because basically my brain there isn't enough space in my skull currently for my brain to not be pushing on the brainstem, which is causing all these problems. So by removing part of the skull, that will hopefully create enough space for my brain to shift into a more normal position, and then it won't be restricting the brainstem. Which is obviously a major operation and is very scary. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm not scared. It's part of the reason why it's taken me so long to film this clip is up until about 3 or 4 days ago, I couldn't even talk about it without crying. And I am scared. And that is what it is. Some people need a further operation to then cut away the malformed part of the brain. The surgeon described it as the appendix of the brain. It doesn't do anything, it just gets in the way and occasionally tries to kill you, much like your appendix. And so some people need to have that part of the brain cut away. We're going to go the bone only route first because the surgeon, was very hopeful that that would be enough. Obviously, cutting into the brain is even bigger surgery and would be like a 6-month recovery. So I'm going to try this option first. It will be a night or 2 in hospital, obviously depending on how the operation goes, and then about a 6 to 8 week recovery time. She said that she would expect me to be back to work at around about the 8-week mark. So that's the operation. So we had that news on the Monday. I wasn't surprised because I had done my research and I knew that that was likely going to be the plan. But it is obviously different reading about it and it being a possibility to it being the plan and what is going to happen. The next step is for me to have a full spine and brain MRI because they only caught this by accident because they were looking at my neck. So she just wants to check there's nothing else that needs dealing with. So that will happen in the next couple of weeks, hopefully, just waiting on a date. And then the operation, she said their waiting list at the moment is about 8 weeks. So it could be before Christmas, but it's more likely to be in January, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. I would really like to have Christmas before this happens, because I'm obviously going to be really incapacitated and unwell afterwards. She warned me that the first 2 weeks are particularly brutal, and I love Christmas. It is my favourite time of year, and I would really like to be able to enjoy that with my family, even with the symptoms that I'm having. So we're just waiting for a letter or an update on the app to let us know what's happening next. So that was that. We then had, so I went back to work Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday I had a migraine. Shocker. There's all the stress from the start of the week catching up with me. And then last weekend we celebrated my father-in-law turning 80, which was really lovely. We went out for lunch, went out to one of our favourite Italians for lunch, and then went back to my in-laws for cake and presents, which was really lovely. Charlie was with us, which is brilliant, and it was just a nice family time. And then quiet day on Sunday. My leg has improved a lot. I can stand on it now. It's still painful and it's still quite weak, so I'm still using the stick, but I am finding it easier to get around, and things like showering and stuff has become much easier, so that's good. And then on the Monday, so Monday just gone, which is the 13th, I think. I'm just looking at my calendar. Yeah, 13th. I had an occupational health appointment. So that's one that my work had requested. I had one back in May, and it's basically work wanted to check that I was fit for work, and if I am fit for work, any accommodations that the OH can recommend. That was a 2-hour, it should have been an hour-long appointment, turned into a 2-hour appointment, and long story short, they have declared me temporarily unfit to work, which was not what I was expecting. I think I'm definitely somebody who masks. I think I've said it before, but I am currently on the autism pathway and I'm waiting for assessment, but I am definitely somebody who masks. and puts a lot of energy into masking and appearing as normal as possible and trying to fit in. And I hate being an inconvenience to other people, and I hate letting other people down. It's like one of my worst things. And so I tend to mask. And it's one of the reasons why Gary's been coming with me to medical appointments. Obviously he wants to be there anyway. And he helps remember stuff that I forget. But it's also because we both know when I'm in front of a medical professional, 9 times out of 10, I will mask so hard, I will do a 180. And even if I've gone to that appointment looking for specific help, I will suddenly be saying, oh no, I'm absolutely fine, I don't need any help, thank you so much, and leaving. Whereas when he's there, he helps me be more honest and mask less. I went to this appointment by myself because I wasn't really expecting much of it, I'll be honest. But the doctor was so lovely and kind that I was able to unmask. And I've been masking so hard over the last 18 months. Even I hadn't realised how much I was struggling. I don't want to get emotional talking about this. I hadn't realised how much I've been struggling physically and mentally. And yeah, so I'm signed off until after my operation, which might mean that I don't go back to work until March, and that's quite scary. I am someone who loves my job. I enjoy the hurly-burly of it and you know, being with the kids and the chaos of it. I love the pressure of it. I'm somebody who thrives under pressure usually, but at the moment I'm just not well enough. And I've been signed off for a couple of reasons. One, my mobility is not good. Secondly, my Chiari malformation symptoms, so the head pain, the nausea, the vomiting, the fatigue, all that sort of stuff. The OH was concerned about. She was also concerned about me getting an infection or getting a cough or a cold whilst I'm at work, which is quite likely. It does happen all the time because obviously working with kids is a bit like working inside a petri dish. And she was concerned about me getting an operation date and then not being able to have the operation because I've got an infection. And then the fourth reason was my mental health. She did 2 mental health screenings with me, depression 1 and anxiety 1, which is where they ask you a series of questions and then based on your answer, it gives you a score. My score for the depression puts me in the severely depressed category currently, which I haven't been since I was in my early 20s. And my anxiety score was the highest it's also been for a while. In case you don't know, I was diagnosed with generalised anxiety disorder when I was 21, and I have dealt with depression as well. It often goes alongside, but I would say that my depression's been in remission for a good decade, but it's back. I also hit every single marker for burnout, so things like not eating or not eating very much, being short-tempered. I am not an angry person usually, but I've been really short-tempered and snappy recently and irritable. What else? Not enjoying things that I usually enjoy, so filming videos has become a real chore. Reading, that has become less enjoyable. Not being able to concentrate, my reading's really slow because I read 4 or 5 pages and then I put my book down and go on my phone or do something else because I can't focus. And what else was the other one? There was another one, but I hit all the markers basically for burnout. So I've been signed off and told on no uncertain terms to rest. Like I said, my leg is improving. I'm hoping it will continue to improve, and my rough plan is to rest the next couple of weeks. But once my leg is healed, I'm going to use this time to gently get myself into the best possible shape I can for this operation, because it's a major operation and so my body needs to be in the best condition it can be. I'm not suggesting that I'm going to suddenly become a marathon runner, but things like walking and yoga and all that sort of stuff, some gentle exercise will help me physically and mentally, but I have to wait for my leg to heal first. So the next few weeks are going to be very slow and very quiet. It's very weird. Today's Thursday, so today is day 4 of being signed off, 3 really, because Monday was kind of whirlwind on its own, and it is very odd and I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. So that's what's happening. So I'm having brain surgery hopefully in January. I'm having skull surgery, which is close enough. I've been signed off and I am not feeling my best, but I'm trying to be very gentle with myself and just do what I feel like doing. By the time you see this, which will be the start of October, I doubt there's been any more content on my channel since my on-haul video. I just don't feel like sitting in front of a camera and talking. I feel like I might feel a bit better once I film this update because I have been putting it off. So we'll see. There might have been content. I don't know. I don't know if you'll even see this vlog, I'll be honest. But you might. I hope you do, because like I said, I think it's important to talk about this stuff and it does help me get it out of my brain. So that's what's been going on. That's the update. Not very cheerful, I know. Apologies for that. Let's talk about books. Let's change gear. I have finished 4 books. I'm going to have to get my green book out because my memory is terrible at the moment. Oh no, I haven't written it down. Oh no. My October pages are empty, so I need to fill those in. So I'm going to give you what I think of my star rating for these books, and then if it's any different, it'll be on my StoryGraph underneath. So let's talk about books. If you've clicked back on, it's now safe. I'm going to talk about books rather than medical stuff. So the first book that I finished this month was Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. This was gifted to me for my birthday, and it's, look at this beautiful cover. I'm also obsessed with these end pages. So pretty. So this was my pick for nature on the cover for my reading challenge. As you can see, birds and foliage and flowers and stuff. So it fit that really well. And I gave this 4 stars. This was really atmospheric and really creepy. We are following a woman called Opal who lives with her brother. They live in a motel. They're orphans and they've got no money, and she takes a job cleaning Starling House, which is this house on the edge of town where there's loads of like legends and rumours about it. And she starts a job there cleaning the house, and that's all I'll tell you because that's all I really knew. This is, like I said, really atmospheric, really gothic in places, very tense. There is some horror elements to it. There is some body horror as well. So just content warnings for that. But yeah, I thought this was really well written. Like I said, I gave it 4 stars. I couldn't give it any higher than that because I just didn't have any emotional response to it. And Opal is in her mid-20s, but she read more like a teenager, especially some of the decisions she made. So I found her a little bit irritating at times. But I would recommend this. If you've been looking at this, or you've got it on your TBR, I would suggest you pick it up because, like I said, I enjoyed the writing. Alex E. Harrow is a beautiful writer. It's just sometimes her characters don't quite hit for me, and I think that was the case with Opal this time. But I did still enjoy it enough to give it 4 stars, and like I said, recommend it. That cover is just gorgeous. So that was the first read. Then I treated myself to a reread of Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldree. This is the second in the Legends and Lattes series. This is a prequel to Legends and Lattes, and then I've got the sequel to Legends and Lattes to read this month because that's coming out in November. So I treated myself to a reread. I gave this 4.5 stars the first time, and I don't know what my problem was. I gave it 5 stars this time. I loved it. I love being back with Viv. We also meet Fern, who is going to be the main character of book 3. It's all a bit confusing. But we follow Viv, and in this one she is a newly minted orc. What is it she's called? Warrior? And she gets wounded. She's a mercenary, and she gets wounded right at the start. Weirdly enough, she gets her right leg injured, which is the same leg that I'm injured with. You know, I have my injury on. And I was reading this like, yeah, I can really sympathise with Viv this time around. She gets injured, and so she gets shipped off to the seaside town to basically recuperate whilst the rest of her gang kind of move on with their mission. And it's about her recovery, and she comes across this bookshop that's really run down, and it's run by Fern, who is this little ratkin. And there's Pot Roast, who is her pet, and there's Satchel, who comes along later, and I won't say too much about Satchel. And it's just about what happens. I would say this is a little bit higher stakes than Legends and Lattes, because there is some mild peril. But I just really enjoy the way Travis Baldree writes his characters and how much heart he gives them. And this was just a cosy good time. This has been really helpful for me whilst I've been feeling rubbish. And it was just a good cozy read. So again, if you've got this on your TBR, pick it up. I love these books and I love his writing. Then I listened to the audiobook of Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is obviously my physical copy. The audiobook that I listened to was on Everand, and it was the only one that wasn't AI voiced. Which is why I picked it. But I did not like the narrator. It was really flat and monotone. A few times I was like, are we sure this is an AI? So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that one, but I do love this story. And I gave it 5 stars because it's Frankenstein. In case you aren't aware of this book, I don't think you could be unaware of this book. This is an epistolary novel, so it's kind of a story within a story. And we are following the main story is following Victor Frankenstein, who decides to create a man out of dead body parts. And we also get part of the story is told from the perspective of the creature that he makes. And it's very much about morality, about what makes us human. It's about loneliness. It's about terrible decisions that are made. And I just adore Mary Shelley's writing. Her writing fascinates me. And yeah, it's a 5-star. It's always a 5-star for me. This was my reread. Oh, I should have said this one is for the self-care prompt on my reading challenge because it was a cozy good time and made me feel slightly less rubbish. And then this one was for, was it for any of them? I feel like I put it in, hang on, let me check my my list. Oh yeah, reread. I put this in for reread because I've read it lots and lots and lots. And then yesterday, this is for red or green on the cover, I picked up The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I had this on my wish list for ages and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I did think at the beginning it might be 5 stars, but it slightly wandered off, I felt like, in the sort of the mid towards the end. But we are in a society, a religious cult, basically, and we are following Emmanuel. And she lives with her family on the edge of this village. They are really poor. They are like dirt poor within this community for reasons that become apparent through the book. Her mother died the day that Emmanuel was born, and her mother was under the suspicion of being a witch. And in this very religious society, which anything to do with witches is bad. They're very much about purity culture. It's very much, you know, young girls being married off to older men, all that kind of stuff. And it's about Emmanuel discovering herself and discovering her power. And I really enjoyed this. This was very dark. It's definitely horror. Check content warnings. There's body horror in this as well. But I really loved the writing. This was a debut. I would definitely read more from the author as and when they put it out. And yeah, gave it 4 stars. So yeah, so far reading is going slowly, but it's going well. Quite a lot of dark stuff, apart from Bookshops and Bone Dust. I'm currently reading, what am I currently reading? Can't remember what it's called. Oh, I'm gonna have to check this notebook. Like I said, my brain is kind of not firing on all cylinders at the moment. What is it called? Discovery of Witches, which I am enjoying, but it's taking forever because it's very long. It's only 700 pages and my concentration is absolutely pants at the moment. But I am persevering with that, and like I said, I am enjoying it. So hopefully I will finish that in the next couple of days. I don't know what's going to happen with the vlog this month, I have to be honest. I'm trying to be kind to myself and not push. So if I don't feel like filming, I won't. But at the same time, I do want this video to happen. So we'll see how we go. But yes, that's the update. I am now going to go back to resting, as I've been told to do, and I will chat with you in a bit. It's the 22nd of October and I haven't been up to much since I last spoke to you for obvious reasons. Gary and I went out for brunch at the weekend. I have been sleeping a lot, resting a lot, all that kind of stuff, doing my physio for my leg, which is slowly getting better. And I've been reading. That's pretty much it. There's nothing very exciting going on. We do have our new bed arriving today, which I'm excited about. But I will put B-roll in the next set of clips to show you the kind of before and after. I don't know if I said it in this vlog, but our bedroom is our current project, mostly because we've done the bathroom, which was like the big job. The kitchen, will need doing. You can see it behind me at some point, but that's a big project, probably next year or possibly the year after. Charlie's room is done, and so our bedroom is kind of next on the list, and also obviously I'm spending a lot of time in there at the moment and will be for the foreseeable, so I would like to have a nice space to be in. So yeah, our new bed arrives today, which is the next part of the jigsaw puzzle, and next week the fitted wardrobes go in, get replaced. So yeah, exciting times with that. That's pretty much everything that's going on at the moment, which, you know, given that I'm signed off work, is probably what you'd expect. However, I have finished 3 books, so let's talk about those. So the first book that I finished was A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. This is for the prompt oldest book on your TBR, because I was gifted this by the lovely Ali last Christmas. So it's languished on my TBR for 10 months, but I definitely picked the right time of year to read this because this is set in September, October time. And this is technically a reread because I read these books about 10 or 12 years ago. I really enjoyed them the first time around. Also enjoyed them second time around. I gave this 4.5 stars. And this is kind of, I would say it's like Twilight for grown-ups. We're following Diana, who is a witch. And oh my gosh, what is his name? I've completely forgotten his name. That's really bad. Yeah, not good. Can't remember what the vampire's name is. But Matthew, that's it. Diana, is an academic and she's working in Oxford, and one day she requests a manuscript from the vault and things go from there. And that's really all I'll say because I don't want to give anything away, but it is a love story, and there is found family and there is politics in it, and there's like a war brewing and all of that sort of stuff. This is the first, I think there's 5 in the series now. I've read the first 3. And I would definitely want to pick up the second book. And yeah, I enjoyed it. It is chunky. It is nearly 700 pages long, 688 pages long. So it took me a while, but I am really glad that I read it. So thank you very much to Ali for sending it to me. Sorry it took so long. But I did, I've got hiccups now. I did definitely read it at the right time of year. I have also finished The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. This isn't a book for the reading challenge. The next one isn't either. This is just one that was on my reread list, and obviously I decided to pick it up now because it is spooky season. And I remember enjoying this a lot more. I've read this a couple of times. I read this on audio, which I would recommend. The audiobook was good. I gave this a 4-star, I think, in the end, or a 3.5. My StoryGraph is linked below. And this is the story of a governess who takes a job looking after 2 children at a very remote manor house, and stuff happens. It's a ghost story. It's creepy. Is there anything creepier than small children? No. But yeah, I remember liking it a lot more and finding it far more scary last time, although maybe it's because I read it with my eyes rather than with my ears. But yeah, if you're looking for a spooky classic, I would recommend that one. Like I said, I did enjoy it. I just found it far more tense last time I read it. And then this morning I have finished my arc of Brigands and Bread Knives by Travis Baldry. This is very kindly gifted to me by the lovely people at Book Break, so thank you to them. This is the next book, the 3rd book in his Legends and Lattes series universe. This one is set after Legends and Lattes, but we are with Fern, who we met in book 2, the name of which has now completely escaped me, Bookshops and Bone Dust. My brain fog is bad today. And we follow Fern in this one. And Fern is the bookseller in Bookshops and Bone Dust. And in this one, she arrives in Thune, which is the town where Viv lives, to open a new bookshop and kind of have a fresh start. And on one of her first nights, she gets drunk and falls asleep in the back of a wagon and ends up on this accidental adventure, and it kind of goes from there. And this is about burnout, which is really weird as somebody who's suffering from it at the moment, to have picked up a book that's actually about burnout. I think sometimes books find you at the right time, don't they? And this is about Fern trying to work out what she wants from life, you know, what she wants her life to look like, what she wants to do, what she needs, being able to speak up for herself and all of that kind of stuff. And she collects this kind of ragtag found family along the way, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I didn't have an emotional response to this, but I don't know if that's because of how I'm feeling at the moment. I did think it was a touch long. Could probably have cut sort of 50 or 60 pages out. But I love the cast of characters. We've got an elf who is this kind of legendary warrior. We have got a goblin who is this absolute chaos demon. We've got 2 talking weapons, which is where the bread knives part of the title comes from, and a couple of horses as well that kind of come in and out of the adventure. And yeah, like I said, this was charming, it was fun, it was cozy. I didn't love it as much as Legends and Lattes. I think I was missing Viv. She is in it, but only at the start and at the end, and I think I missed being with Viv. But I would recommend this, and if you've enjoyed the others, I would recommend this one. Pick that up. It comes out in November, and you will see me open my pre-order of it in next month's wrap-up vlog. So those are the books that I have finished. I've also received this massive box, which I've cut open just so that you don't have to watch me scrabbling around on screen, but I haven't actually opened it. So I thought we'd open this together because this has come from my wish list. So somebody has been very, very kind. As ever, usual disclaimer when I open things, you don't have to do it. It is not expected. It's very much appreciated, but in no way is it expected. And yeah, thank you very much. Right, let's see who this is from and what this is. Oh, I can see. Okay, that's why it's this big. I was like, what is on my wish list that's that huge? Is there a gift note? Let's see if we can find that first. Yes. Oh, it's from Joe and Alfie. It's time for you to put your feet up and rest your body and mind. I hope these will help you. Sending you big hugs from Joe and Alfie. This is so lovely because what they've sent me is this. This is Joe and Seth's Gourmet Popcorn Chef gift box. Let's see if I can open this. I need to go and get a pair of scissors. I love this popcorn. This is such a nice like gift box as well. I love this popcorn. I think it's the best popcorn around, and it's like a, oh my gosh, it's like a selection box but for popcorn. So we've got toffee, apple and cinnamon, which I've had before and I absolutely love, and it's obviously perfect for this time of year. We have got mature cheddar cheese, never had that one. We've got caramel and Belgian chocolate. I've had that one before, it's lovely. We've got, there's loads in here. We've got salted caramel, yum, I love salted caramel generally as a flavour. We have got peanut butter, nice. That also means I won't have to share it with my husband because he hates peanut butter. And then finally, milk chocolate popcorn bites, salted caramel popcorn in an indulgent milk chocolate cup. So thank you, Joe and Alfie. That's a really lovely gift. We'll leave back in for a minute, they're out of the way. Yeah, that's really kind and generous of you. I really appreciate it. And now I have plenty of snacks for whilst I curl up and read. It's the 28th of October and I really need a haircut. Yeah, sorry to sound like a stock record, but it's been a bit of a difficult week. I'm not going to get into details because it's not my story to tell, but I had some very upsetting news about a family member's health over the last few days, and so yeah, that's going to be going on for a while. So that's been happening. Other than that, I've just been resting and all of that stuff. The boys ripped out the wardrobes in our bedroom on Sunday, which I'll put in the next bit of b-roll because the new ones go in on Wednesday. It's Monday as I'm talking. No, it's not. It's Tuesday. They go in tomorrow. And I'm very excited for that. That's pretty much the update. My mum's leg is starting to recover. It's been about 16 weeks since the accident. She's still recovering, but she has been moved onto a boot now, which is progress, so that's good, and things seem to be starting to knit together, so that's a positive. But yeah, it's just been quite a tough few days. This whole few months, 18 months has been tricky, but I have been reading. So the first book that I finished was Hell House by Richard Matheson. This was for the prompt of ugly cover, because this cover does nothing for me. I know lots of people really like it because it's quite graphic-y, but for me it just does absolutely nothing. So this is my prompt for ugly cover. I picked this up randomly, I think in Awardsons. I think I was with Chloe when I picked this up. I was with someone. It's either Chloe or my sister-in-law. I can't remember which one. And yes, I gave this 3 stars. This was written in the 70s. I didn't realise that until my sister-in-law read it, and then she gave me the heads up, so I'm glad she did. And it very much feels like it. It feels a bit male-gazy at times. But we are following a group of 4 people who go to the so-called Hell House to try and, what is it they call it? They're trying to do a supernatural investigation. So these 4 people go in. One of them's a medium, one of them, or 2 of them mediums, one of them is taking a scientific approach, and the 4th person is the scientist's wife. And things go from there. And I won't tell you any more than that. It is a horror. There is definite body horror in there. There is also a couple of scenes with a cat that I found quite distressing and had to skip over. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. Like I said, it felt a bit male gazy. Also, the writing was quite basic. It was a lot of like, he did this, he did that, he did the other, without much of the emotion behind it. So I feel like it's not one that's going to be particularly memorable, but it is a book. To quote Aoife, it is a book, and I read it. So that was 3 stars. And then I picked up my second arc for the month, which is This Gilded Abyss by Rebecca Thorne. This was very kindly gifted to me by the lovely people at Book Break, so thank you to them. Rebecca Thorne wrote the Can't Spell Treason Without Tea series, which I love, which is cozy fantasy. This is not cozy. Do not go into this expecting the same vibe that you get in those books. There is an author's note at the beginning that tells you this is not cozy, but it really, really isn't. It's like a totally different author. I very much enjoyed this. This is political sci-fi. Yeah, political sci-fi, I guess. And we are following our main character, what's her name, Nix, who is a sergeant in the army, and she is basically given or forced into this job to be a bodyguard for one of the royal family. And her and this royal family, this kind of, it's not, she's called a subarch, I think, but I think it's like a princess type setup, have previous history together. So it's a second chance romance, enemies to lovers, but there is also this very political element going on, and there is a sickness. They have to go on this submarine, basically. Yeah, it is a submarine, but it's like a very luxurious ship that goes down under the sea. And whilst they're on board, a sickness breaks out that turns people basically into zombies, into like mindless, violent animals. And they are trying to work out what's going on and protect themselves. And yeah, I gave this 4 stars. Like I said, very, very, very different vibe to Can't Spell Treason Without Tea. But I love the writing in this. Her writing is like, to me, it seems it doesn't really matter what the genre is. I just love Rebecca Thorne's writing. This is, like I said, political, it's dark, check content warnings. There is also a spicy scene in it. As with all the books I've read by Rebecca Thorne so far, it's very queer and queer normative, which is great. And yeah, this was left on a proper cliffhanger, and I think the next book is coming out next year, which is called This Red Something. Maybe am I lying? I might be. No, this Crimson Ruin, not Red, Crimson Ruin is I think coming out next year, so I'm very excited to read that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, gave this 4 stars, would recommend it if you're into like political sci-fi books. This was really well done. Then my advent calendar has arrived. I will link it underneath. I went in the end, I've got a book advent calendar which is coming next month. But what do we do when we're sad? We browse stuff on Etsy and buy things we don't really need. And I've bought a wax melt advent calendar. It's from the same company as I bought from last year, which is it's the Letterbox gift shop company on Etsy, which I'll link underneath. This is what it looks like. Last year I had their book advent calendar, which I really enjoyed, but I didn't want to do a book one again this year, partly because Charlotte and I are making each other advent calendars this year. Or book advents, so I know that I've got like 12 books coming from her, and I didn't want to add another 12 or 24 into my TBR, so I went for a wax melt one. Look how cute this is. It's so, let me hold it like so you can see. It's so nicely packaged. It smells like so good. I can smell through the box, but it says obviously do not open until December 1st, so you'll see me open this in detail in December, but that's arrived, so I thought I'd show you. And then some lovely person has sent me this. Let's do this the right way up. Has sent me this. So I thought we'd open it together and see who it's from and what they've chosen. Right, let's first time. Oh, it's from Laura. Just because gift. Hope you feel better soon. Rest and relax from Laura. Thank you so much, Laura. Laura, I've spoken about before on the channel. She's also an English teacher. She's absolutely lovely. And she's been really kind and kind of checking in on me over the last few weeks, which I very much appreciate. So let's see what book she's gone for. Oh, great choice. This is the Famous Five Collection 2. So this has got Five Go to Smuggler's Top, which is I think my favourite secret five. It's my favourite Famous Five book. 5 Go Off on a Caravan and 5 on Kieran Island again. I'm so excited for this. Thank you so much. That's a really good choice. That'll be something really nice and cozy and easy to sit and read. Put that in there. Fantastic choice. Thank you. Today, as you can see, I am up and dressed. Excuse me. We have got the contractors arriving tomorrow to put in the wardrobes. I need some bookshelves, wardrobes. I need to pop out to Tesco because we need things like bread and milk. So I'm going to do that. I've also got a load of my on-haul books to get rid of because everything has to come out of our bedroom for the wardrobes to go in. And I realised that I'm probably done for this, but I didn't realise that the whole room would need to be emptied. So yeah, my on-haul stack, which I've already filmed, now definitely needs to leave the house. So I've done a quick recce on a local Facebook group, and apparently there are a couple of little free libraries that I can drop off to. So I'm going to go and explore one of those today and drop some books off, go to Tesco, get some petrol, and then that'll be me done for the day. I've done a tidy around this morning, folded laundry and all that sort of stuff. So I have done a little bit today, but I can already feel that my battery's running out. So I'm going to go and do that. And then tomorrow wardrobes go in, and then I'll probably come in and wrap up probably Friday. It depends how my reading goes. If not, I will see you on Saturday. It is the 31st of October. Happy Halloween. I am coming in to wrap up the wrap up. I have got 2 books to tell you about and we need to do stats and all that good stuff. But yeah, let's just get straight into reviews. So the first book that I finished as I last spoke to you, it was The Women by Kristen Hanna. This was for the prompt newest book on my TBR for the Winter Reading Challenge. This was lent to me by my lovely boss. This is her very well loved copy. And I'll be honest, I didn't want to read this book. I have been moving away from historical fiction. I traditionally or historically haven't enjoyed historical fiction. And this is about a woman, well, she kind of starts off as a girl really, as like I think she's like 17 at the start of the book, who joins the army to be a nurse during the Vietnam War. And that to me is just not usually something that I'd want to read about, but my boss was really insistent. She's a very hard lady to say no to, but she wanted me to read it, so I picked it up. And do you know what? I gave it 5 stars. I thought this was brilliantly done. I was hooked. I couldn't put it down. All I wanted to do was read this book. When I wasn't reading it, I was thinking about it. I learned quite a lot about a part of history and recent history that I know nothing about or very little about. I loved how the story was woven. I loved the message in it. I just thought this was fantastically done. Please check content warnings. Obviously, it's a war story, so it's very dark. The first half of the novel is her in Vietnam as a nurse on the army base and everything that she sees and experiences and witnesses there. And then the second half is her coming home and the trauma of that, and topics like PTSD come up quite a lot. And all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend this, and it was a surprise 5-star, which is always my favourite, and I liked it enough that I went and bought my own copy, much smaller than this massive. I think this would be the American mass market, but yeah, I've bought myself a much smaller and will fit much better on my shelf sized copy. So that was a 5-star. And then over the last week I've had a lovely cozy time reading The Wheel of the Year, an illustrated guide to nature's rhythms by Fiona Cook and Jessica Rue. This was a birthday gift, so thank you very much to the person who sent this to me. This was for the prompt seasonal read, because obviously this is all about the seasons. I've now got hiccups, how very unhelpful. All about the seasons. What I didn't realise was that this is a middle grade, and that's my bad. I thought this was for grown-ups, but it isn't. It's middle grade, and it's also I really enjoyed it. It's gorgeously illustrated. Let me show you. Like, I mean, even just the end pages are just something else. And this goes through the sections of the year, as you can probably tell. But like each section, that's just the safety bit at the beginning, has its own illustrations. They talk about what nature's doing at that particular time of the year. Plants that are around, some of the different traditions of different people around the world, and also kind of rituals that you can do at specific times, specific altars that you can set up for a certain time of the year. I really liked this, and it's got a really nice message about being connected to nature and understanding how nature's rhythms impact us and how we impact nature and all of that sort of stuff. It just wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be, which is my fault. I also thought it was a little bit repetitive, and there is more of a religious bent to this than I wanted, but I gave it 4 stars. It was a lovely cozy time. I think I will probably put this in the library at school, because I think a lot of my kids at school would get a lot out of it, and it was just a lovely cozy time, like I said, to sit and read that. So that was a 4-star read to finish the month. So let's do some stats. I've got my trusty green notebook. So this month I finished 11 books, which is pretty average for me. My number of pages was 3,756, which is 122 per day. That is a little bit lower than where I would normally like it. I aim for around about 150 pages a day. But given everything that's been going on in October, I think I've done all right. My favourite read of the month is definitely The Women. This was by far and away my favourite read of the month. And I just know it's a book I'm going to be thinking about for a long time. I think it's also the only book I gave 5 stars that wasn't a reread. Yeah, it is. So yeah, this is my favourite book of the month. That will go into my favourite stack. Most disappointing, I've gone with Hell House by Richard Matheson. I just didn't love this. I was hoping that I'd found a horror book that I was going to really enjoy, and it just didn't work for me at all. And like I said, I think in my review, it's just a bit forgettable. So that will be my most disappointing. My TBR currently stands at 33 books. So we are 7 books down on last month, which is really good going. If you're new here, I like to try and keep my TBR sort of around and under 50 books. So I've got choice, but it's like not overwhelming. So it's good that number's quite low, because I'll tell you about my November plans in a minute. My oldest book on my TBR is The Institution, which I got in April, so I need to read that soon. And then balancing the books, I have had 8 books go off the TBR, and I only had 3 come in, which obviously means I've had 5 more go out than have come in. And year to date, I am on 14 books out. 14 books more have gone out than have come in, which obviously means that, sorry, my phone is now sending me messages, means that I'm basically a whole reading month ahead in terms of hauling books. So that's going very well. And then my shelves, I'm going to have 6 books staying on my shelves and 5 books going out, and you will see the October, November, December unhaul in January. And yeah, that's October. It's been a weird month, obviously. It's been a difficult month at times, very difficult at times. But I feel like I'm finishing the month better than I started it. I'm still very much, this is going to sound like really stupid probably, but I feel like I'm in a healing phase now, and I'm still in that kind of place. I'm still very much hibernating and taking it all very slowly and being gentle with myself and all that stuff. And at the start of the month I was trying to push through and actually making things worse. So I think in a lot of ways I am in a better place than I was at the beginning of the month. I desperately miss my job and my kids, obviously, at work, but that's just something that I'm gonna have to deal with for the next little while. So yeah, I'm trying to end the month on a positive note. Next month, November, obviously. So I've got a few things happening. I've got my pre-op appointment next week. That doesn't mean that the operation will be anytime soon. That appointment is valid for up to 4 months, but it's basically where they check that I'm physically capable, like physically well enough to have the operation, and I can ask a whole bunch of questions, of which I've got a massive list. So that's next week. Obviously we're continuing to wait for an operation date. I'm also going, there's a Booktube meetup in November, which is going to be really good. It's in Bath, so I'm very excited to actually, that it's happening somewhere I can get to this time. I'm nervous to go because I've not met anyone in person who's going, but I'm sure we will have a good time. And then I'm also seeing Charlotte next month because she's coming here to see the house, see me, see the house, meet the cats, hopefully meet Charlie if he's around, see Gary, she's met him before, and we are going to see Wicked together, which like I am so excited about. And I make no apologies for how obnoxious I will be primarily on Instagram once that film comes out, because like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So there are good things coming. Charlie is also turning 16 next month, which is absolute madness. Okay, so we are going to finish there. Thank you for watching this video if you've made it all the way to the end. I know it hasn't been quite my usual content. I think I've also filmed every single sit down clip sat here. That's mostly just because with my mobility not being great, I've had to kind of adapt where I'm filming, but hopefully next month will be better. My leg is much improved than it was at the beginning of the month. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys being here and supporting me and chatting to me and sending me messages and checking in and all that stuff. I really do appreciate, so thank you. And thank you if you've made it to the end of this slightly weird video. If you made it to the end, what should we have as the emoji? It's October. If you made it to the end of this video, leave the bat emoji because that is my favourite like Halloween-y creature. So yeah, leave me the bat emoji in the comments. Just let me know you got to the end of the video. Please subscribe if you'd like more of this chaos, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone. Bye.